Our coverage continues of the People's Pope in Cuba. Moments ago, our Michelle Casada caught up with Alex Castro, Fidel Castro's son.
They talked about the Pope's role and efforts opening relations between the United States and Cuba.
Nosotros quisiéramos que avanzara un poco más rápido.
We would like to advance a little bit faster. I would like to advance a little bit faster, but it doesn't depend on me. It depends on a lot of factors.
Want to welcome in Michael Williams. He's live in Havana, Cuba right now with the very latest on the Pope's visit as he wraps up his three-day historic tour there. Michael, good evening.
Good evening to you. Quite a scoop by my colleague, Michelle Casada. The great irony of the statement by Fidel's son is that many on our side of the Florida Straits, including many in the Cuban-American community, argue that advancement has been halted, if not ground to a halt, over the last 50-plus years precisely because of the Castro's iron hold on power here and a state-run top-down economy. That a huge debate here, though not one you've heard much of during the papal visit. I join you live near the port, and behind me, Casa del Moro. It's a beautiful scene here, but it masks many of the problems they continue to have on this island, an economy that has been ailing for so many years. The average wage here, about $20 a month, US dollars, the equivalent for people living here. Internet service that is just now starting to crack open for the country. It's such an interesting study and contrast here. The Pope Francis just landing in Santiago, Cuba, in eastern Cuba during this whirlwind swing here on the island, and of course we'll be heading to Washington, D.C. to begin his U.S. swing tomorrow. He's talked about people love, about the need to not be held to rigid ideology, as close as he came to some criticism of the Castro regime and those in power here on the island. No doubt people, again, many Cuban Americans and other critics in the U.S. hoped for something more robust from the pontiff, but his message largely has been one of healing and love and of service during his visit here to Cuba.
So, Michael, with all that said, what is likely to change after this papal visit? What will the lasting impact be of the Pope being in this communist country?
To some extent, Kelly, it's incremental. Remember, Pope John Paul II came here in 1998. I was here for that visit, then Pope Benedict in 2012. Now Pope Francis, who was at the very center of efforts to create that new U.S.-Cuba opening. So will it be anything overnight? No, not necessarily. What you will see, many argue here, many observers say, is slow incremental change, more trade, more commerce. The port running alongside of me, starting to see more goods coming into the country. It has said Cuba exports services and imports goods. So they hope to raise the standard of living. People here hope for more opportunities. The big question is, the biggest import of all, and I said it in the 5 o'clock story, might be that of ideas and the internet, which they hope to expand and grow. One major telecommunications company said it will do that. But how will the Castro regime handle that kind of openness? How hard will they grab the spigot when that openness becomes something that may create a whole different dynamic in a country? I can't emphasize to you at home enough how much different it is to be on a street corner here. You don't stand here and criticize government on a street corner. You don't dare do that. You don't speak out about the need for different leaders in your government. So it's a top-down government, top-down media, top-down in terms of ideas. Not to say there aren't dissidents here, but those voices have largely been silenced. How will that change? Will it be incremental? Will it be something we'll see it all? That is the profound debate going on, not only in dissident corners and communities in this island, but also in the United States. And Kelly, I think it's the great arc of the story we'll be covering when it comes to Cuba and U.S.-Cuba relations in the years to come. Certainly there'll be more trade out of the port of Palm Beach, out of places like that. Talk about cruise ships coming. But beyond the economics and dollars and cents, will it change in any real way Cuban society? It's going to be an interesting question.
Michael Williams, excellent reporting this whole weekend since last Friday down in Havana. Thank you so much. We'll see you again at 6 o'clock, Michael.
And stay with us.